Today on Rethink Real Estate, we're going over some of the up-to-date statistics that we have from a perspective of days on market, once you hit a certain level, what the point of no return is, and then also after one price reduction, what are the up-to-date statistics around what do those price reductions need to be in order to create attention, how long do they take, and then what is the statistical likelihood that you need to do more price reductions after that first one. Hope this helps. Welcome to Rethink Real Estate. My name is Ben Brady, and this is a real estate podcast aimed to deliver sales strategies, marketing tips, and business insights from industry experts and myself to build a listing-focused business for the future. Let's get into it. When we sit in front of agents and sellers and we show them the deficiencies of a traditional real estate process within their marketplace, they're often shocked by it because the traditional element of real estate doesn't have any measure against it. It's our responsibility with our auction process to make sure that we measure the effectiveness and the efficiency of auction versus traditional. One of the things that I want to go ahead and certainly point out when it comes to the traditional transactions within the major North American marketplaces that our auction process operates in is the price reductions of traditional is something that we monitor on a very regular basis, but it's also time on market. Price reductions and time on market are the leading indicators of whether or not we choose to move into that market to start offering our non-distressed auction process to agents so that they can have a more effective process rather than a negotiation down and a cumulative days on market, which means you lose all of your leverage within a negotiation. One of the things that I truly do believe in is that the moment that you start to reduce your price, you lose all leverage when it comes to the negotiation. You sprinkle on top of that some average days on market that accumulate, and all leverage is eroded completely. A good negotiation and getting the most money for your sellers or for your property is all about making sure that you've got the appropriate amount of leverage, because the challenge when you come to a real estate transaction is that you've never met a buyer that wants to pay too much, and you've always got a seller that is fearful of accepting less. So one of the things that we pointed out and that we do in most of our major marketplaces when it comes to the price reduction side of things is the first thing we monitor the critical points within the marketplace. So first and foremost, one of the statistics that we monitor across all of the major marketplaces across North America is days on market. Days on market, for example, we use the 30-day window of time. So if a property hits 30 days on market in most of the major marketplaces in North America, there is over a 70% chance that that property is still there in 60 days' time. So let me emphasize this. There is over a 70% chance that the property is still there in 60 days' time if it hits 30 days on market. So that's an accumulative days on market of 90 days. And that's absolutely staggering because when it comes to 90 days on market, all of a sudden the reputation of that property has been eroded away and you need to absolutely revitalize that, and auction can do it. The other thing that we usually find is a correlation between this also is that if you do one price reduction on a property, there is over an 80% chance that you need to do two more within 4 to 6% of the original list price in order for the property then to go under contract or into escrow. So let me go back and just explain that. National Association of Realtors brought out a statistic not so long ago that stipulated to actually get movement on your property in today's marketplace, you need to adjust the price by 4 to 6% of the original list price. Now, on $1 million property, just using round numbers, that's between $40,000 and $60,000. Now, you multiply that by a few $1 million into the average sale price points that we operate in, and that's several hundred thousands of dollars that need to be reduced. Now, the moment that you reduce the property's price, you might say you get an uptick of interest. That's only for a short period of time, however. But let me go back and let's explain this in a situation where there is a process of a downward scale. The average price reduction in North America to get some type of attention in the major marketplaces, according to the National Association of Realtors, is between 4 and 6% of the original list price. The other statistic that we found very interesting from Zillow is that the average price reduction is between 3 and 4 weeks is how long it takes in the traditional sense. Now, those numbers might be a little bit delayed because of, at the end of the day, most people are coming out of a marketplace like post-COVID over the 21, 22, and 23 years where the marketplace was really moving at some pace. So therefore, the average price reduction time that it takes for a price to be reduced has increased to 3 to 4 weeks, when the industry average before COVID was 2 weeks. This comes down to obviously a little bit of denial when it comes to what the market is actually doing from a seller's perspective. So coming back to the real facts in all of this, if you do one price reduction, there is over an 80% chance that you need to do 2 more within 4 to 6% of the original list price in order for that property to then go into escrow or under contract. The average time in between each one of those price reductions is 3 to 4 weeks. And if you correlate that with over a 70% chance that your property will still be on the market if it hits 30 days within 60 days' time, the reality is that that's a lot of time on market and a lot of price reductions. So to go back and to reiterate, if your property hits 30 days on market in most of the major marketplaces in North America, there is over a 70% chance that it'll still be there in 60 days' time. If you do one price reduction, there is over an 80% likelihood that you need 2 more before that property goes into escrow or under contract. The average time that it takes for a price reduction is between 3 and 4 weeks. The average price reduction that is needed in order to get some level of activity or uptick in activity is between 4 and 6%. All of a sudden, you've got days on market, you've got a negotiating down from a price instead of one up. The auction process deals with all of this. Instead of a negotiation down from a price, it is a negotiation up. That is the thing that we're trying to do, is create upward momentum rather than how quickly can we get the price down on this traditional property. Hopefully that explains some of the benefits when it comes to auction, but the thing that we're trying to do is point out some of the defects when it comes to traditional. Be aware of it. Just because it's what you think the only option when it comes to traditionally listing your property doesn't mean that it's the right option. So about 75% of our audience hasn't liked, followed, or subscribed to our podcast. It would mean the world to us, and it would help this podcast more than you know to expand our reach if you were to like, follow, or subscribe on any of the platforms that you're watching or listening on. Thanks again.